So we begin the week with a new moon in Gemini happening on June 17th or June 18th, and this is all relative to where you live in the world. So it's going to depend on your time zone when this new moon is going to be happening for you. But it's going to be happening at 26 degrees of Gemini. And so when we have a new moon, the sun and moon are holding hands together. They're joining up together in the sky, and it is a new beginnings. New moons are that point in the lunar cycle when we begin again. We start fresh, we set our intentions, we go inside ourselves, and we plant those seeds that we want to manifest. These could be dreams, new ideas coming through. It's a time where there's the least amount of darkness, and there's not a whole lot of reflection. So we're going inside ourselves. We're having quiet new beginnings during new moons, and so Gemini is an air sign. We're talking mutable, so it's very changeable, very adaptable. Mutable signs change seasons, so it's never staying on the course. It's always sort of, let's go over here, let's go over there. It's very adaptable in nature. So this new moon has a lot to do with new ideas coming through, learning new information, because Gemini is about information. It is about pulling things from over here and over there and being open and receptive. It's just that genuine, childlike, innocent curiosity to learn new things, and to take in information and to collect new data, to collect new thoughts. And yeah, so this also deals with, the things that we tell ourselves, the narratives that we tell ourselves, how we're speaking, how we're communicating. Is it honest? Is it true to ourselves? Is it kind? What do we mean when we speak? And are we socially connected with the people in our world? So setting an intentions and beginnings that deal with anything having to do with, communication, writing, speech, writing a book, starting a YouTube channel, anything that is communication related, this would be good to initiate at this time. And so, so asking questions about our life, noticing the things around us, noticing the people around us, the situations that we're living in, and are they truly serving us? What must we change and let go, let fly away from our lives? And that's more of a full moon thing. But anyway, full moons are endings that make room for those new beginnings. So Gemini is an air sign that we can, what are we telling ourselves? We're writing our stories. Anything having to do with breath work, getting the mind connected in a healthy, loving, grounded place, and being very deliberate in terms of our speech, and looking at communications in general. Although that's not very in-depth, but anyway. What's so unique about this new moon is that it's squaring off with Neptune and Pisces. It's 27 degrees of Pisces at the time of this new moon, so it's almost right there. So this square from the sun and moon can present self-doubt, feelings of self-doubt, feelings of beating ourselves up and not loving and accepting ourselves for who we are. And the key with this is to know that you are enough, to accept yourself with peace and love and serenity as you are, and to be kind to yourself, to be gentle with yourself during this time. We can feel less motivated to get things done. We're less. With a square to Neptune, one of the downsides of Neptunian energy is escapism. because we want to escape to other worlds, escape to other lands. We don't want to come back down to the earth plane of existence. So, attending to details, attending to what is going on in our everyday reality may be more difficult, especially because Gemini is sort of the fork in the road sign. It deals with options, it deals with choices, the choices that we make, and seeing different sides of a given issue. Um, and so we might want to be very careful because it is a square, it's difficult energy. There's friction, there's a challenge with the Sun squaring Neptune. We're being very mindful about the decisions that we're making during this time, being very deliberate about them. When we want to initiate something, when we want to make a choice, it's going to be good for us to go inside, reflect inside ourselves with our intuition, meditate, and see is this decision truly right for us? Um, and does it feel right for us? Or is it based off of, ego or, something else, or based off of other people and it's not true to us, etc. So we may also, so it's an opportunity to consider the choices that we are making and to make choices that are a balancing act of Gemini, the mind, logic, and Neptune, intuition, our emotions. How does it feel? I was watching a video on the new moon in Gemini by the astrologer Rebecca Goldsmith, and she was talking about the choices, really considering the choices that we're making with the sun squaring Neptune, and the moon squaring Neptune. I also think that, anything that we can do for becoming more humble, for recognizing, seeing, our flaws, not judging ourselves, but just observing what our flaws are and taking the steps necessary to improve, to sort of take the heater and do something to it to make it at a better state so that it's stronger. Um, you know, to sort of look around and see what we can improve in our life. So it's not perfectionism. We're not, falling into perfectionism where we feel like we're not enough, but we can see where we can improve. What can we reach toward? What can we strive toward to become better and to grow? Because squares are about growth. They, are ultimately about that. Um, so we can become really deluded with this, very confused, very, um, there's just a fog with Neptune. It's very nebulous. It's just, unclear, kind of murky. Where we're not seeing things clearly and there could be misunderstandings, and we need to make sure that we are on point and on the ball and listening very carefully to what the other person is saying before we make a move, before we respond, before we take action and initiate something, sit on it. Um, like a mother is pregnant with a baby before it comes out. And this also corresponds to Mercury square Neptune. And I would say both Sun square Neptune and Mercury square Neptune are both in the same boat as terms of not good for negotiations, and those kind of things like that. Looking for any confusion or delusion in relationships. Because I also think this deals with idolizing somebody or not seeing them for who they are, not facing the reality of this is going on in my life, this was the past, this is happening now. It's about seeing both the light and the dark and acknowledging things for what they are, getting out of denial, getting out of wanting to escape because of how, harsh, how sensitive that we may feel, how negative it is, instead of wallowing in that negativity, What can we do about it? And that involves seeing things as they are. It's a deep time where we may feel like we want to be alone. We want to go into self-reflection. We want to be by ourselves. That's also something with this new moon energy. And permission to do that during this time.